All right, so today's review is going to be on the original Iron Man movie. Now, I watched this probably a month ago, honestly. Me and my brother are doing an MCU rewatch, and we started a little while ago. I've just now finished it. I'm just gonna start rolling out the reviews. They're fresh enough in my mind that I should remember most of the plot from them. That's the main thing that you worry about. I've got the grades up here for all the other categories, but the plot is the thing that you can lose some bits and pieces over time. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started with this. For the plot for the original Iron Man movie that came out, I think it's 2008, 2009, one of those years. I give it an 8.3. Like, it's like a generic superhero plot, but I think the way they approach the role of Tony Stark is a little bit more interesting than the way that I guess the main comparison right now would be Bruce Wayne. So like this rich, billionaire type of superhero. I feel like it's like a more interesting take, mainly based off of the intelligence of Tony Stark. The way I think Robert Downey Jr. does a really good job of making him come off as intelligent by speaking very quickly and having these sharp comebacks and talking in a way that it's like, okay, that dude seems smart. But yeah, 8.3. I mean, not to get in, for anybody who hasn't seen it, it's been a while, so you should probably have seen it by now. But yeah, I mean, not to get into spoilers or anything, but the plot is decent. It At the end of the day, it boils down to, at least for the plot, a basic superhero movie with a little bit extra added with the Tony Stark element of it. But I gave it an 8.3. That might be a little high, to be honest, for what this movie does, but at the end of the day, that's what I gave it. All right, so then for dialogue, I gave it an 8.8. One thing that's heavily documented around this Iron Man movie is that they improvised a lot of the lines, and you can feel that when you're watching the movie about how it feels like real conversations are happening. And it's a little weird to give it an 8.8 for dialogue when you know that they didn't write this stuff. It's stuff that was like, spoken on the day and just came up with it in the moment. But to me, I definitely prefer that style of dialogue of, it's more like riffing in the moment. It makes everything seem real. I don't really like when everything just seems so perfectly like planned that it's like, okay, I can tell you're reading words off of paper. And I think Iron Man does a really good job of making the conversations feel real and relevant to the story. Yeah. So anyway, that's the dialogue. Acting, I give it an 8.7. There's not really many bad performances in this movie. Robert Downey Jr. does a phenomenal job, but then Jeff Bridges and Gwyneth Paltrow, they both are good in the movie, and then Jon Favreau is Happy, Terrence Howard is Rhodey. Like, Terrence Howard as Rhodey and Jon Favreau as Happy are like mid, but Jeff Bridges and Gwyneth Paltrow, I'd say, are good in their roles, and then Robert Downey Jr. is great in his role. So yeah, I feel like a 8.7 was warranted here. It might be a little on the high end looking back on it. I might would bump it down to about an 8.5 maybe, but I think 8.7 is still around where I want to have it at. All right, so then for cinematography, we have an 8.8. This movie looks phenomenal for when it was made. It looks phenomenal in general. The stuff they do with the Iron Man suit, now the scenes outside of the action scenes, with him being Iron Man, they're like average, but the scenes when he's in the Iron Man suit, I feel like they did a phenomenal job with it. The visual effects are so good. It's almost one of those times where you're blending the line of like, I can't really tell that this is fake. As the MCU's progressed, I feel like this movie is still one of the better looking movies, especially as far as how the action looks in it. Okay, and then the soundtrack. The soundtrack to this movie is borderline iconic. The way that they did AC/DC in this movie, and yeah, I mean, I give it a 8.4 because the original soundtrack of the movie, there's not like, I think it's, yeah, I'm trying to remember what it is. It's like this like general like military theme type of thing. It's okay, but the extra songs that they added in, the already pre-established songs that they added to the soundtrack, those are the ones that really take the soundtrack over the top. And it doesn't take it too far over the top. It just makes it a good soundtrack to me. And then before we go into the total rating here, go ahead and name off the bonus ratings that I gave it. So I gave it an 8 for comedy. It's a solid movie as far as comedy goes. Again, it's a lot of quick-witted humor from Robert Downey Jr. I gave it a 7.9 on world building. I think that might even be a little generous. I just gave it the 7.9 because it introduces Iron Man into the MCU. But as far as like what it does outside of that, I think there's like a couple of references to characters potentially, especially in the post-credit scene. They reference the Avengers and all that, but I give it a 7.9 for world building. I don't think it's that great in that regard. Characters, I give it an 8.2. Again, I feel like they have a pretty solid cast here, and the characters that they bring along with that, I think, are also pretty solid. They're not exceptional, but they're okay. The action, I gave it an 8.1. I think the early movie action, especially when he's like in the desert, when he's going and saving those people, I think that action is really good. But then when you get into the Ironmonger fight scenes, it gets a little it gets a little transformery, to be honest. And then iconic, which is a new bonus category. I've added detail and iconic. I think I've had detail in here for a little bit now, but I added iconic recently, and it has an iconic grade of 9. I feel like this movie is very iconic, especially for superhero movies. But yeah, that's generally what I thought about Iron Man, and the final total rating is an 8.3. I feel like this is about where it should be at. Honestly, most of its grades are higher than an 8.3. A lot of that is because of the iconic nature of the movie and the fact that it started something so big. It's just a solid movie. It's a movie that I don't think you would turn off if it was on, but you also wouldn't seek it, if it wasn't on. But yeah, that's what I think about Iron Man, and yeah, thank you guys for watching, and let me know what you guys feel in the comments, and yeah, peace.